Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Taylor, and I am the advocate of the devil. I, like I'm assuming everyone out there watching this right now, have a job away from the computer, and much to my chagrin, I have a boss. We all do. We all have someone who signs our checks to make sure that we have a roof over our heads, food in our bellies, and can afford to pay for our internet connections to keep watching people say things on opinion-based web shows on YouTube. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how much we wish we could tell them to take our jobs and stick it, we show up day in and day out, dreaming of the day when we can either walk away to a better position, or at the very least look said boss straight in the eye and say, "Screw you, I'm going home." Or, even better, what if we were actually in charge? It can't be that bad, he just sits on his ass and profits from our hard work. We already know what to do. But here's the thing. Without that man or woman running the place, your work would be a million times harder. And today, I'm gonna show you why. The first thing I want to point out is something that I believe should be common sense, but for argument's sake, I'm going to bring it up anyways. A manager has to worry about everything all at once. In a normal job, each person has their designated task. You've got the clerk stocking the shelves, the cashier passing the customers, you've got a guy in the back receiving the stock to make sure that the store has things to sell. You've got someone sitting at a desk doing inventory management and finalizing all the paperwork. And then, finally, there's management.
I'm the manager here. There's no problem.
The guys and girls telling the stock clerks what to do during the course of the day. The cashiers what extra little bits of cleanup or special promotions are running. In a well-maintained, perfectly balanced place of business, each person has their assigned position within the internal hierarchy, and that's that. But we've all had jobs where we've had to pull double duty. A clerk calls in sick, so we have to do the jobs of 2 instead of 1. A cashier just got fired, so now the lineups are running a little too long. This happens too much, and chaos ensues.
I'm an agent of chaos.
There are odd occasions where someone in one department has the capabilities of another and can lend a hand. But in a best case scenario, that's a temporary solution. Eventually, things start falling behind, and now the whole store is being dragged down. And that is the manager's responsibility. Not only do they have to take care of the hiring to make sure the staff is well maintained, but if these things start piling up, they start doing the work as well. See, usually there isn't any crossover between departments, but a manager, they have to know everything. Long lineups, manager steps in and gets the line moving again. Too many clerks didn't show up? Manager steps in to make sure the shelves aren't empty. Receiver takes a week for a vacation? Who's there to cover for him? That's right, someone from team management. There is not a single situation that I've personally seen where a manager only did one thing.
Well, you gotta look harder.
Most, if not all the time, they need to know every single detail of every single department within the store so that when the worst happens, and let's face it, the worst always happens, they can step in and make sure it doesn't get any worse from there. And that's on top of all the things they already do. Secondly, there's a reason why it's always referred to as middle management. These brave men and women are stuck right smack dab in the middle of everything. See, it doesn't matter how good a job they do, how much they help out, how friendly they are. Everyone underneath them is still stuck looking up. They want that power, that position, that paycheck. And when the going gets tough, the tough get to blaming the guy above them for all the screw-ups and mishaps.
Thus, completing the circle of screaming.
And that is the problem with all of us. It's a hell of a lot easier to complain about things and blame it on other people than it is to accept responsibility. And who do we all blame? The management. So no matter how hard they try,
Maximum effort.
how much work they do, It's never our fault. It's always up to them to solve the problems and deal with everything. The problem with that logic is in the position's name, middle management. See, part of a manager's job is to make sure that there's enough work to go around so that everyone is busy doing something. And when things don't get done, they have to drop the smile and be a hard ass. If you don't know how to do it on your own, they will tell you what to do, how to do it, and they won't have time to worry about your feelings on the matter at hand.
Hey, listen!
It just needs to get done. Know why it needs to get done like that? Because they too have a boss. A boss that does all the same shit to them as they do to us. The yelling, the hard acidness. The management, they're stuck in the middle. No way to please those underneath, like us, and no way to please their higher ups. Because once again, the boss's boss has the job of telling our boss everything that's wrong. It's lose-lose. If things go well, it's never going well enough. Ever. And when things don't get done, the management gets dumped on, and then proceed to do the dumping. It's an endless cycle, and as someone who has been in middle management myself for a period of time, I can personally attest to it being just as soul-crushing as it sounds. Now, a lot of times we look at our boss as exactly that, an authority figure. But one thing that a lot of us forget, and is in fact my final point, is that they're people too.
Look, please get your hand out of my face and stop calling me Hulk. I'm a person, okay?
Think about it. When a part-timer or a full-time underling type wants time off, it's as easy as switching a shift or just flat out not showing up. No big deal. You'll just make up the time another day. Anniversary with a significant other? Go for it. Just switch shifts with one of your coworkers. Can't get out of bed except to empty from your stomach what you've already put into it? That's okay. You'll work the next day when you aren't puking your guts out. But what about the management? They're stuck in the middle with you. On top of being able to cover in damn near every department in the place, they don't have the benefit of being easily replaceable. So their personal lives suffer. No more dinner dates with the missus. Half the cashiers are stuck with the flu. Daughter has a musical performance and she finally made the lead?
No can do'sville, baby doll. No can do'sville.
We all, damn near every single one of us who has never had to work that kind of schedule before, we all take it for granted. All the outings that get missed, the holidays spent away from family just to make the store run smoothly. I'm not gonna lie, there are plenty of times where I've gotten too angry for words at all the different bosses I've had in my over a decade of working retail stores.
Goose from goose blah blah.
But the one thing that I never forget is how much they have to sacrifice to make things keep running. The holidays, the personal lives that they practically don't have because things need to get done in their chosen career, the massive investment they have in the store that you happen to be working at. A manager needs to balance all of the responsibilities within their job title while at the same time having a life of their own. Even the best of them aren't always in the most chipper of moods. But at the same time, like we all, they're doing their best. It may be rare to find one that can actually balance everything, but if you've got one right now, appreciate it while it lasts, because it doesn't always last as long as we'd all like. Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, I do hope I managed to shed some light into the difficulties of a managerial position. Whether it be the fact that they need to know practically everything about every department ever, or just the fact that they get nothing but scorn from above and below. Management has arguably one of the toughest jobs within a work environment than, perhaps, any of us would ever truly understand. I also hope that the next time you see a manager working on a weekend or a big holiday, or even just a normal Tuesday afternoon, you be mindful, because unless you are said man or woman, you may not have the full scope of what they're missing out on just to be where they are. As always, feel free to let me know in the comments below what you think. Did I manage to set the story straight? Maybe you have a tale of how well a manager treated you, or how poorly. By all means, bring up all of your points against my own, so that I may proceed to prove you wrong.
Kaboom! You've been lawyered.
But for now, in the case of management, the defense rests.
Moment. Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking.
Hello, Peter. What's happening? We have sort of a problem here. Yeah, you apparently didn't put one of the new cover sheets on your TPS reports.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. I forgot.